Outbound sales is a customer acquisition channel that doesn't get a lot of love, and I get it. But I've been touring through Europe, and just yesterday I was visiting a company that is crushing their competition because they're doing one thing different than anybody else in a very crowded market. And this is a company that was just recently acquired by one of the biggest technology companies on earth. This is a company that moved from the US to Europe, and in just 8 months has tackled 17 different markets in Europe and become number one in the space internationally. And yes, their technology is great, the culture is great, the brand they're building is great. But you know what they told me yesterday, what their number one secret to success is, and why all their competition, no matter how well funded, no matter how much money they raise, no matter how much technology they build, why all their competitors are tiny, compared to them? You guessed it right. Outbound sales. Outbound sales has been their secret. They said everybody else tried to find growth hacks. Everybody else tried to, build these little viral tools. Everybody else tried to solve the customer acquisition problem in a very challenging market with technology, when what they did is they did what was simple, what was straightforward, and what just works. It might not be sexy, it needs determination, but they've been crushing it with it. They have been calling customers, doing outbound sales calls, cold calling to acquire customers, because the customers they are selling to are not that technical, but they have a phone number they pick up. And when you talk to them in the right way, they listen, you can convince them, and you can help them alleviate their fear about technology, adapt the new technology, and then see incredible success with the software and technology they've built. So outbound sales works, and it works today. No matter how many experts proclaim that the era of cold email is dead, cold calling is dead, this is dead, that is dead. Every day I meet up with companies, with founders, with teams that are crushing it with these quote unquote old and outdated techniques. It depends on your market, right? But the truth is that outbound sales in B2B is thriving and is helping an incredible amount of companies around the world crush it and grow and really dominate their markets. The other thing that's beautiful about outbound sales is it's scalable. It's very, very beautifully scalable. Once you have a sales process that is repeatable and predictable, you can put fuel to the fire and scale that puppy, right? You can start adding more sales reps. You can start automating certain parts of the process. You can start generating more leads and really scale literally and take over different markets, countries, areas. It's beautifully scalable in ways that many other customer acquisition channels aren't. You can choose your customers. What a beautiful concept with outbound sales, right? You don't have to passively wait for the right customer to discover you. You can make a list, be specific, and say, here are the 10, the 100, the 1,000 companies by name that we want to be in business with, that we want to acquire. And then you can proactively go out there. You don't have to wait around. You can go out there and start a conversation that then leads to conversion and a business relationship with those companies. That's a beautiful thing that in many other customer acquisition channels you just don't have. You can do a lot of things, but at the end of the day, with most of them, you have to cross your fingers and hope that the right customers click your ads or read your article or whatever. With outbound sales, you don't have to wait around. You don't have to have any hope. You go and target specifically who you want to be in business with, and you start a conversation and you start a relationship with them. The other thing is that it gets you immediate results. That's the beauty of outbound sales. You're good, bad, or in the middle. You'll get instant feedback. You'll instantly see if this is working or not. When we started, Elastic Sales, which was the company that led us to discover Close and build Close, the beautiful thing was we had this crazy idea on a Tuesday, and on a Wednesday we started cold calling companies, pitching them the idea, getting educated by the market, testing the pricing, testing the pitch, testing the format, testing the onboarding. And within 2 weeks, we had said, hey, if we can get 2 companies to want to pay us a lot of money, maybe there's a market for this. And within 8 or 9 days, we had 7 companies that wanted to be early customers and pay us thousands and thousands of dollars each. That is a speed to learning and a speed to results that's very hard to replicate with most other customer channels. And there's an incredible amount of learnings and insights. The thing that I love probably most about outbound sales is that it's incredibly insight rich and contextual rich way to acquire customers. With outbound sales, you'll get feedback and you'll be able to have conversations that give you a lot more information about what is going on, what is appealing or not appealing, what objections you're gonna have to face, what pushbacks you're gonna get from the market and from your customers in ways that's very hard to replicate with other acquisition channels, right? On the phone, when somebody tells you to F off, I mean, that might not feel good at first, but if you are able to overcome that and have a bit of more of a conversation, you might learn why they're not interested. You might learn what other tools they're using. You might learn what would be the best way to approach them. You might learn what their current priorities are within the business. You might learn what other software they're internally evaluating and how they're buying software. You can learn so much, and it's not just the words and the information, it's gonna be their tonality, their energy. You're gonna understand and hear and learn so much more because a yes or a yes are not the same thing. We know that. The human ear is able to distinct those two things, right? Context matters. And in outbound sales, you have an ability to have a conversation that will give you insights, that will give you information and intelligence that you are able to now use to improve your product, improve your pitch, improve your service, or improve the way you sell. We've taught one very specific tactic on how to do cold emailing and then call people to ask them why they didn't open. You know, what about it wasn't appealing? What does their inbox even look like? And even when you got a response, what we always teach is instead of when you get a positive response to a cold email, for instance, and you jump on a call to give a demo, instead of just rushing to the demo, take a moment and ask, hey, you're a busy person. I'm sure you're getting hundreds of emails every day. You responded to my email. What made my email stand out? What made it appealing? Why was it something that you felt compelled to respond to? And then listen. And if you ask that question a couple of times, you're going to learn so much about your messaging and the way to pitch and how to craft better emails and how to see more and more success. I'm telling you, outbound sales is beautiful. It can be an amazing tool if you use it right now. If you're looking for an ultimate guide, an A to Z, step-by-step guide on how to make outbound sales work for you and your business, head over to the Close blog. You'll find everything you need there to make it happen.